So, Will, it's been what, 35 years
At
worked
least
together?
since we worked together in the beautiful early days of the cable news network.
Yes, and you've done a few things since then.
Uh, and as a local news person, you were very intimate with the community that you served. When you work for a network, you're literally broadcasting to people who of various locations and various ideas and designs. And it's very hard to aggregate a single product that could address what they do specifically. And to really understand how you can serve a community in broadcasting or in any industry.
You defined it as, I never really went looking to be a diversity, but it's...
My first diversity job was something that I created for myself when I was basically a senior in high school. It was called the Farragut People's Press. I grew up in Fort Greene, Farragut Projects, Brooklyn, New York. And I wanted to be able to let, it was a Black and Puerto Rican community, and I wanted to be able to let the community people know that things that were available to them in terms of social services.
Here we go. So I want to fast forward now. So you go from being, in high school, really kind of wanting to get people to understand each other better in a neighborhood, to a decade at, a major media conglomerate, NBC Universal.
At NBC, my role was manager of diversity and news editorial projects, but it was something that was evolutionary. I initially went to NBC 10 years ago as a consultant in digital productions. And essentially, what the company wanted was to be able to have their producers, writers, and photographers come back with stories that were more inclusive. And how do you aggregate that? So you come back, you do a story, the producers say, this has been a great story. Had you gotten a politician who really was from the neighborhood, or if you spoke to somebody who was experiencing this level of poverty, or if you talked to a community leader who led this issue that affected this ethnic community. And sometimes you can't do that because there's just so much time in a day, and there's just so much resources that you have available.
But if you're thinking about it, uncovering new perspectives.
Right, and that's really key, because when you're producing something, you try to conserve time. You go with the sure bet. You know that the politician sent the press release is going to be a sure bet. But to get to somebody who has an opposing opinion or even a supporting opinion, you have to go out and find them. Victory and what Victory Spirits offers to the Children's Bourbon brand is to tell that story, and to tell that story in a positive way that inspires and makes people recognize that now is the time that the bourbon industry and the spirit industry recognizes not only that there were early people of color who tried to make it, but may not have, but wanted to, and to open the business up to that type of invitation to people of color, to women, to younger people with ideas, and I think that's what attracts me to wanting to be a part of this project, is the fact that it kind of connects with my idea what diversity is, and diversity in terms of inclusion is to have everybody involved. When we talked about the creation of the Joe Louis brand, the diversity is in the fact that we have a wonderful team that has of all ethnic stripes and all age groups, that's putting together something to resurrect the idea of a great American hero who, if we were around or at the time when he first introduced this bourbon in the 50s, then maybe he would have had a better shot. But we're here now.
We're here now, and I'm glad that we're here together.
Mhm.